Hello everybody, and welcome back to An Art Life Worth Living. So today we are going to be learning how to draw eyes and how to color them digitally. You could take anything that we learned today and put it into a traditional form. I am a traditional artist mostly, so one of my subscribers wanted me to make a video like this, and I want to say thank you for commenting and sticking around with me. Also, if you guys do want to follow along, I do have a guide in the description so you can follow along with the drawing eye practice. But besides that, let's get into it. The eye is made up of a pupil, the iris, the upper lid, the lower lid, the sclera, and the carbuncle or corner of the eye. The first tip to learning how to draw an eye is understanding that the eye is a 3D object. To understand how the eye is drawn, you first have to understand that the eyeball sits in a circle. You have your, the eye sockets. As you can see, all of my eyes are sitting inside circles, which makes it way easier to kind of understand where my eye is being placed on a face while I'm practicing. So the first thing you want to do is you want to study references of eyes from different angles. I think the best way you could do this is to draw the eye you have and then take mental notes and what makes you understand how that eye is shaped. For everyone understands everything differently. For me, I look at the eye in a hexagon rectangle shape. We have the almond, and then we have the round or elongated oval. So that's what makes me understand an eye. But you would have to kind of take a good exercise to try and understand how eyes are drawing is picking a couple of eye references with different shapes, and then you want to bring the opacity down. If you're doing this traditionally, just print off the photos and bring the opacity down on the photos greatly, and then just use a bold color to draw over them. Understand what will create shapes that make you understand how that eye is sitting on the face. And then once you start to understand the basic shape of an eye from the front angle and the different shapes, then you can do the exact same exercise with eyes at different angles and different shapes. And once you get it down and you start to understand, then you can do this guide I have here and not look at any references and just create different eyes based off of what you've already learned. That is exactly what I did here. I did a bunch of eye studies, and then I went through and I created these different eye shapes from just my head. And honestly, I've never really been able to do that. So I really hope that you guys all get to experience that joy that I got of I'm actually understanding how to draw eyes. I also went in and I took the time to draw eyes from different styles. So once you understand how the eye is shaped, you can stylize it. And you can see here I stylized it in a cartoon way. I did a very, very simple eye. Like it's like a dot for the eye, but it's not a dot. You'll see it. And then I also did the eyes from different angles in these trainings. And I tried to make the same eye look the same, but from different angles. This is that dot eye I was talking about. And you can see, even though it's just a dot, you can see how the eyebrow and the lids really make the difference when it comes to drawing an eye. I also played around with some emotions on eyes because the eye shape changes with every single movement you do. So I thought I should probably practice, and I drew these images here of emotions without looking at any references. I just kind of took note, when I'm happy, my eyebrows are raised, my eyes are wider, and I just kind of thought back on my own life and like, okay, I can do this. So this was practically everything that I have for you guys in terms of how to draw an eye. Next we're getting into is actually how to color the eye. First off, coloring is kind of its own video, if that makes sense. You want to, if you're asking me to explain color theory, I'm gonna make a separate video for that. If you guys would like to see a color theory video, please comment down below if you'd like to see it, and like this video. The more likes, the more likely I will to make it, even though I'm gonna make it either way, but that doesn't matter. When it comes to coloring an eye, or coloring anything for that fact, you want to start off with colors. So I colored a few of them on this piece just so you can see. So you want to pick 4 different values in that color. What I call it is I choose a pale color, which is as close to white as possible, but not white. And then I do a light color, a medium color, and then a dark color. Here, just to pause real quick, this is what I'm talking about in terms of that exercise. Here I am sketching over and getting the basic shapes of an eye and then adding the details from memory. So I did that with 3 different eye shapes, just so you guys understand what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to go in depth with coloring. So you want to pick those 4 values: pale, almost a white, the lightest, a light, a medium, and then a dark. My first eye, I did blue. So the pupil and under the eyelid should be the darkest colors on the iris. As we saw before, the pupil is the little black spot in your eye, and then the iris is where the color is on your eye. Once you figure out what type of eyelid you have, whether you have a deep set eye, it would be more shaded down below. If you have a more prominent eye where the eye sticks really far out on the lid, like the bottom one, it would be less shading. I like to start off with the iris, and then I do just a rough gradient down. I don't really do much fancy things. That's kind of it. Drawing an eye and coloring it is really just a gradient. I keep about half the pupil down and left out from the gradient, and then I always will shade where the lid is. I will bring that gradient down a bit. I always start with the pale color. I start with the lightest color. I will color the entire eye, and then I'll go in and I'll grab the light color, bring it towards the lightest part, but keep in mind where your highlight's going to be, which is what the bottom of the eye for these eyes are going to be. And then I take the mid-tone color and I bring that a little higher, and then the darkest color I will go in through the iris, and the very top of that iris, right where the lid and the lashes cast shadows. For me, in terms of coloring in some detail, I will use the darkest color and add in details. I like to take the rim of the eye and bring that dark color around it. I feel like because the eye is a 3D shape, your eye is going to cast a shadow on the very rim of your iris, because your iris does stretch and expand. It's a 3D shape. So adding that little dark rim around the edge of the eye really brings out the eye to me. I really don't know how to describe it. It's not pitch black around those spots because I don't have any darker colored eyes, but I just choose that dark value and I just darken around the iris a little bit. These are my eyes that I drew for you guys. I really hope that this helped a lot. I tried to explain everything the best of my ability, and please like this video, comment down below if there's anything that you would like to see me teach next, and then subscribe for more art related videos from me. So thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.